So, polyamory.
Yeah.
So I think we had a conversation about this before, and I think we've seen this a lot in like the dating culture, right? Like polyamorous relationships are becoming way, way more common. People are going to have multiple partners. I think a lot of people are having these types of open relationships anyways, where it's like they're secretly or they're in these situationships where they're talking to people, but they're also having multiple sexual relationships with other people, right? We had talked about this, and you said you feel as though, just tell me what you thought, your thoughts on it.
I think, honestly, polyamory is a lot of work and much harder to, make it a good.
That's not what you said originally.
No. You get me wrong. I think that a monogamous relationship is hard, yes. But I would rather just open it up than to really focus on having a real polyamorous relationship, because there's much more about it. Like if you talk about polyamory, then there are feelings involved, there are different relationships involved. You got to really figure out how you want to do the polyamorous relationship. Like you can have one main partner and several other partners beside that.
Side pieces.
Yes, you
So
can
basically
have
what everyone's already doing now.
What are they calling it? Like kitchen table poly, where they all live in one household.
Kitchen table poly. That's what it's
they
called?
call it.
Does this happen in Germany? Have you seen this happen in Germany?
Yes, some do have that lifestyle, but it's really not often here. It's not common here.
Would you say that polyamory is pretty accepted here in Germany overall?
I think it's not really a topic yet. Like people don't really.
They just do it. They just don't talk about it.
Some do. I mean, I have seen some examples who were on TV or talked about it, but it, of course, had a lot of negative criticism.
Do you think that? So when I say polyamory, I think a lot of people have polyamorous relationships, whether they want to admit it or not. Like you have one woman talking to multiple men at the same time, and one man talking to multiple women at the same time. Do you think that happens a lot in Germany? What's in general?
You mean without the sex?
No,
or
with
what?
the sex.
With the sex. Not in committed relationships. Like maybe if they are all single or one of them is single, the main person is single, okay. But I don't think that there's that there are a lot of couples who have really a committed
So it's still
polyamorous.
Taboo, you would say.
I think so. Yeah, maybe not a taboo, but very uncommon.
Yeah, I think in the U.S. it's getting more and more common, but that's just like a whole nother conversation. But we were talking a little bit, and I wanted to like pick your brain on this. So we were talking a little bit about how men don't understand a woman's emotions, and that was like a very big topic that you said that's like an issue that women face.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think men don't specifically understand about women's emotions?
Well, I think some are overwhelmed by women emotions. Like sometimes I experienced in my past, I experienced it often that I wanted to talk things out. Like if we have a specific problem or an issue going on, I want to talk about it and I want to find a solution. But it's not always possible to talk to a man, especially if it's something about emotions like love or whatever. Some may really avoid the discussion about it, like especially if it's not a committed relationship yet, but it's about to be, or you want it to be, and the man is not really willing to do it yet, then they often avoid the discussion about it. Like,
so let's say you're like a new girl, you're dating in the market. Like, what are you looking for a man to really give you as far as like understanding your emotions? So like, let's say you're in a newly kind of relationship. What are you looking for, like emotionally intelligence? Why I hate that word. I'm gonna let you know I hate that word because I think people use it and they don't even know what they mean by it. I want someone who's emotionally intelligent. I'm like, okay, what does that even mean? I know what it means, but I don't think people know what it means. But what do you think early on in the dating market, women are really looking for men emotionally? Because I think we talk about emotional availability and things like that.
I mean, it is not about you having to understand every emotional aspect of, like every emotion that I'm, emitting. But you just have to listen. having a specific emotion onto something or about something, then I am usually about to communicate that to you in a way that I really put it into words and give it to you, you know. And it's about the man to listen, just to listen and try to understand that I'm not. I didn't make this up, you know. I didn't just stand up and think, okay, I want to have this emotion. It's just how I feel. And I want men to just accept that I'm feeling a certain kind of way because of something they did or whatever, you know. They don't really have to find a solution for it or anything, but a simple understanding would be okay.
So you want men to validate your emotions and just be heard.
Yeah, I mean, at least not talk it down or ignore it.
Can you
or
give me an example, kind of?
like, yeah, but this is really a complex example. I was dating this guy once who was really an on and off thing. And it was not my intention to fall in love with him, but at some point I did fall in love with him. It was more like a friendship plus first, and then it was more like than just a friendship plus for me. But he didn't really have emotions yet. And after a while, like every time that I accepted it, how it is, then he came to me and, you know, then he admitted that he had feelings for me too, whatever. Then I got back into my feelings, whatever, you know. And every time when I expected him to really make that move and make it happen, he just turned back, you know, like, and he blocked everything. And that's of course when I got hurt. And
So
I
every
tried to
time you-
talk to him about it, and he was like not really. He showed me that he was not willing to talk about it. Like he was very quiet, didn't want to talk
So
about
in
it.
that situation, there was like kind of an undefined relationship, but then he basically, you guys would have these exchange of emotions where it seemed like it was going to lead into a certain direction, and then as soon as you were like getting ready to define it, he would like pull away and
Yeah.
like close off.
But every time that I, you know, pulled away, he was admitting again that he had emotions for me, which again gave me hope, you know. And of course I wanted to make it work because it was very important to me. But yeah.
I think a lot of men may end up in this situation. I think they're really looking for women to do certain things. In that situation, do you feel as though he was asking for anything from you to like make it official? Did he communicate any of those needs or wants to you?
That's a very complicated
Okay.
story as
We don't
well.
have to.
No, because this was actually the only relationship where I was open or even had to consider of being poly, because it was his idea. That was the one who wanted to be poly with me.
He wanted to be poly. Did he want you to be poly as well, or like?
What?
Did he want you to like have? Did he want it like a one-way open
He
relationship?
didn't really mind if I met other guys. He didn't really say like that he had a specific role, because I of course asked him if that's
I told
okay
you
too.
how
But
I told you what
I
my
know.
opinion. So ladies,
but
can I say this?
okay, you can say it.
I want to say this for the ladies. Men are territorial, 100%. If a man really like loves you and he cares about you, he does not want to share you. Like, think about like every like, if you love Disney movies and that's like the reference point of like what relationships look like, the guy who really cares for the girl does not want to lose her and he doesn't want to share her. Now, I think men approach sex a little bit differently where they can like fuck anything that moves. But for the most part, when a man really cares about you, he doesn't want to share you. Now, I think also men can be petty, just like women can be petty, where it's like, I don't want to lose a shiny toy. But like, if a man really cares about you, he doesn't want to share you. But like, I think a man also doesn't want to miss out on access to like sex or things like that. From certain women.
I can understand that, but and now I will address this to men. You
Oh.
cannot expect a woman to share you like with other women, but not giving her the same freedom at the same time. Because first of all, it is much harder to suppress your jealousy and everything if you don't have like a reason to, you know, because if you're the only one who has to do it, if you have your freedom as well, then you can at least say, okay, he's giving me the same freedom, he's giving me the trust that I will, you know, not turn my back on him by just whatever.
I think
It's not even a question of me really doing it then or not, because actually even if I have the freedom I wouldn't even do it probably. But alone the fact that I would have the same freedom makes it much more peaceful for me in my mind that he
It's more fair.
It's fair, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I told you this as well. Men are like generally just repulsed by the idea. Of, I am very curious to meet men who may feel differently, but most men that I meet, like if they have a woman that's like their main girl, like they do not want to share her. Like they like kind of covet her in a way. I am not saying this is right.
But so do women, actually. It is very hard for us to share a man. It is painful, and jealousy is a thing. You really got to learn, and even if in this...
I think it is. I think a wiser me understands, like, it is painful. And, I mean, this goes back to, like, we were talking about morality. Really, at the end of the day, morality is rooted a lot in religion most of the time, or it's, like, in line, parallel. And this is why I say, like, sexuality-wise, like, you just monogamous relationships work. It's just like...
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I would never have a monogamous relationship again. That's not the point. I would like to have a monogamous relationship
You
too.
just
But
don't believe men can have monogamous
Yeah.
relationships. So men can have monogamous relationships.
well, my experience, some of them did keep a monogamous relationship. I don't want to say all men, or no men can, but I think the majority of all men, I don't know.